During my visit to the University of Pennsylvania Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology, we found 7 different artifacts that we would like to share with you today. This axe was found in the Democratic Republic of Congo in the late 19th century. This type of axe was used both to show status and as the currency of the region for over 1,000 years. Powerful people regarded them as objects of prestige and stored them for future trading. They were made with iron and copper, materials that have strong spiritual powers. Iron is considered masculine, while copper is considered feminine. The combination of these two offers protective powers and beauty. The faces carved into the blade show the maker's great skill. Boy from Norokotom, which he was from 1.6 million years ago. He is an 11-year-old boy that had a relatively small teeth and a brain that was double the brain size of the early hominids. His bones, discovered in 1984, form one of the most complete skeletons ever found of our hominid ancestors. Nekhmet, consort of the god Ptah of Memphis, was also the goddess of war and pestilence, who annihilated her enemies in the guise of a lioness, originally set up by Amenhotep III at the Mut Temple at Karnak. The statue was later removed to the west bank of the Nile by Ramses II. This kind of altar might be found in a Shingon Buddhist temple in Japan from the late 19th century. Altars of similar design are found, for instance, in Toji Temple in Kyoto, whereas altars of other schools are more subdued in color. Red and green are popular in Shingon temples. A Buddha usually sits in the center, and he is flanked by 2 bodhisattvas. Manju, seated on a lion, represents wisdom. Fujin, seated on an elephant, is the bodhisattva of goodness. Maitreya, whose name in Sanskrit means the compassionate one, is the Buddha of the future in the future age. Here, Maitreya is identified by an inscription on the podium, which also includes the data of the dedication of the names of people involved in his creation. He is backed by a leaf shape known as the mandorla. His hands form the wish-granting mudra. On the reverse side of the mandorla are 8 small Buddhist figures. This sphinx was originally carved in the Middle Kingdom, but it was recarved during the reign of Ramses II. The Sphinx is an iconic image of ancient Egypt. The Sphinx was a hybrid creature with the body of a lion and the head of a man. This combination of human and Leonine elements endowed the Sphinx with the intelligence of a human being united with the awesome physical prowess of a lion. This Sphinx was found at the site of Memphis in the area of the north gate of the Ptah Temple. It was buried up to the shoulders, only the exposed head was attacked by windblown sand, which eroded the facial features and the royal false beard. The inscriptions on the chest and around the base give the 5 names of Ramses II. His son and successor, Merenptah, added his own cartouches to the shoulders after his father's death. This Sphinx, the largest in the Western Hemisphere, was quarried at Aswan and transported north by the river to Memphis, 600 miles away. Study of his volume suggests the colossal Sphinx of Ramses II probably weighs close to 15 tons. This statue depicts the priest Horwadajau. The inscription which covers the front of the statue calls upon the priest of the temple at Coptos to make invocation offerings at various festivals for the benefit of his ka. The god Min was the primary deity of Coptos, and his name appears in the first line of the inscription. The inscription also includes a funerary offering, invoking Isis of Coptos. The head of the statue is missing, and the feet and the front of the base are restored. This shape of statue is known as a block statue, a form which appeared in the Middle Kingdom but remained popular centuries later. My experience at the museum was a much-needed experience. Seeing all the artifacts of different time periods immersed me in those periods. Those artifacts helped me understand better all these periods, especially Egyptian. The Egyptian artifacts were very interesting to me. I really liked the model of the temple because of how it showed what architecture was like back then and what it may have looked like. Seeing all these artifacts really helped me learn overall. I went down with my dad to the museum, and I saw many other LaSalle kids while I was down there. My dad and I went after my baseball practice, and he tried to convince me to get a cheesesteak while we were down there, but I never really liked cheesesteaks, so we didn't go. My favorite part of the trip had to be seeing the speed limit sign in the parking garage. It said the speed limit was 7.5 miles per hour. That just really made me laugh.